Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. All right, everybody, we are with Green Canopy Node on the Washington Mall. That's right, Washington, D.C., for the Innovative Housing Showcase. In this structure by Green Canopy Node and Mercer Mass Timber behind us is the talk of the show as far as we are seeing.
Modular, the only logistics company you need to transport your mods, pods, and panels. Our friends at Stream Modular are investing $50 million over the next 25 years to build the technology, solutions, and trailers needed to handle and transport the projects of today and meet the demands of tomorrow. Reach out to their team at streammodular.com to discuss your next project. CombiLift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. CombiLift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at CombiLift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at combilift.com. Ready to scale up your offsite construction business? Introducing 4A Constructs, your solution to finding skilled labor for offsite manufacturing. Say goodbye to the headache of recruiting a skilled workforce with hand-selected certified tradesmen that are expertly trained and managed for offsite manufacturing, set crews, and finish crews, ensuring maximum productivity and safety. Unlock the future of skilled workforce development for all of your offsite construction needs. Visit them at 4aconstructs.com.
Beck Wilder, tell us a little bit about what we have here.
Well, thanks for that, Dave. So Green Canopy Node is a housing builder in the Pacific Northwest. We have quite a few companies in our company as we try to get housing built faster. We build under 4 stories, townhouses, single-family homes, apartment buildings. We have architecture in our company. We work with architects. We have a general contractor, and we work with general contractors. But what we do is we created a building system that componentizes construction so that we can really head towards bringing the power of manufacturing to the construction sector. I think what's really cool about what we're doing in housing is that this carbon negative, super sustainable, healthy, beautiful housing system is also currently competing with traditional construction costs. And as you know, our background as being developers and contractors, we know that that's not, you got to do that. You got to compete with regular cost.
So when you say competing with regular construction, this is mass timber CLT style construction, right? You're using, the wood fiber insulation. You got rain screen This is a high-performance building. This is what we're seeing in Switzerland and Sweden and everywhere else we travel in the world. So you're telling me that we can now start using mass timber to build a more sustainable, healthier, stronger home, whether it's single family or multifamily?
Yeah, the thing that we really work hard on all of our projects, whether we're doing traditional construction or when we get to do our mass timber building system, is the pro forma and what the construction cost has to be in the pro forma. That includes if it's affordable or market rate, if there's for sales or for rent, what's the exit value, what's the long time durability. When we bring all those factors together with our building system, which is incredibly efficient. I think that's the other thing about cross-laminated timber and the cost of CLT is that it's often not optimized for the billet. And when you're doing housing and you're doing low-rise, you have to really press the edges of how much of that billet can you use because you're buying the material up front. But when you can really do that and you can use all those other factors, you can create a system where we're doing 2-story, 1,400 square foot cottages. We're going to do 9 at a time in Portland, and they pencil in the pro forma. There's no extra money, there's no grants, there's nothing coming into that's making that work. And I think that's really the key that we're trying to unlock.
Beck, just tell me how this idea came apart. I mean, I always say, were you sitting at a bar penciling this out one night? You said, well, let's find Todd, from Mercer, and can we actually make this work? But what gave you the idea to bring all the technology? We see this in Europe, like I said, everywhere. You're bringing it here now. And there's a lot more benefits than just the structure, right? It's for the benefits for the tenants, the longevity of the structure, the durability of the structure. There's a life cycle story here.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So my background's in prefabricated modular housing, and then went into development and moved into we got to componentize it. Like, we're not actually manufacturing housing yet. We're building indoors, sometimes more efficiently than others. But in order to really bring that even flow manufacturing and get to the kinds of efficiency that will create industry revolution, we're going to need to use components. Down that road for myself, I got to meet my business partner, Darren Greekin, who we'll talk in a moment. And Darren has a mass timber background and was at Katerra and has been working in building systems. And I think that there's actually a sea change coming to, industrialized construction in the U.S. where, because of these big companies, regardless of how they made it or didn't make it, we've got an entire cohort of individuals with the experience to think in systems.
Right.
And mass timber is an incredible material for that because it's highly manufacturable, it's precision engineered, it's very sustainable. It starts to tick all the boxes.
Love it.
Yeah.
So why don't we have Darren come in? I want to show a
Perfect.
little bit of the inside, because you're not only doing the mass timber construction, you also have come up with an entire mechanical wall system that's a plug and play, step and repeat system that can be used in a factory environment. And like you said, you're taking mass timber to modular.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much, Dave.
Here. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, I mean, all right, we're going to step over this way so people can see a little bit more of what's going on. Darren, just tell everybody a little bit about your background, right? Because you do have a mass timber background.
Yep. Background is in architecture. Grew up on a job site with my dad since I was 12 years old, hanging out on construction site, doing all aspects of construction.
Right.
Then I went into architecture and did that for a while. I taught for 10 years, and that's where I really understood and learned about mass timber, digital fabrication, what we can do, and just seeing the gaps.
Right.
And then out of that, Katerra, and then Green Canopy Node. So that's where I come from.
Walk me through the system that we have here and the whole concept behind why you and Beck came up with this with Mercer.
Yeah. So this is a system approach, a mass timber system approach that has been a long time coming, kind of gestating with Todd Bayreuther at Mercer Mass Timber and us to come up with a mass timber system. So it's volumetric modular. The idea is that it develops, it's a system that will be able to span up to 6 stories in the way that we're going. We're focused on 4 stories right now, but what it is a whole system approach. So we look at every single piece of the mass timber system and the MEP, how it's all integrated together so we find that efficiency. So what you'll see here is integrated wall. Right. So what we do is in the factory, we pre-engineer and pre-design. And part of the reason why we did this is that Green Canopy Node has been building high-performance homes for over 13 years in the Seattle market. Okay. And what we learned, we set engineers to go and look at every single schedule, what was happening on projects, where were the pinch points, where were the problems. 80% of the problems were right here.
Absolutely.
And so we said, let's find a solution to that. And this is our solution: prefabricate, pre-engineer, integrated into the system, so the trades just come in and hook it up. You just plug it. And
so this whole framing system is a design that you all have come up with.
Yes.
And then the trades can come in and wire or do whatever
No,
they need based on the system?
We do it all
in the factory.
And the only thing that comes in is they hook it up to the supply.
Right.
And roll out the cords to the electrical outlets.
So on a 4-story, this would all be just straight stacked.
Yep, just stacked up.
Got it.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing to me because even the way this is set up, you said everything is thought through to include the pitch.
Yes.
On the water lines or the drain lines.
Exactly. These are all CNC built, so they're all cut on a CNC, so we can get really good precision. And all of the features are set so people don't have to think about it. You don't have to measure. You just set it in and it's in the right place. And it has the right slope. There's no mistaking, that it's going to work. Got
it. So how many different designs do you guys currently have with this system?
So we have a single family or a studio cottage, a 2-story, 3-bedroom cottage, two versions of that, a more accessible, visitable version and a not. And then we have a 4-story, we have a multifamily unit mix and a townhome product. Yeah.
Got it.
And these systems are configurable. So we have 3 or 4 different bathroom layouts, couple of different kitchen layouts.
So like Lego blocks.
Yeah.
I can change it around however I want to change it around for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. 2 stories, it becomes a little bit more complicated, but definitely multifamily and single story, it's plug and play.
So before we bring Todd over here from Mercer, what have I missed? What is something super important that you want people
I
to
think
know?
what's really important is how we deal with mechanical in a CLT system. Yeah. And I think that's the big difference here is typically you can't, it's solid. You can't, you can't run wire through the walls up, to light switches and the floors and everything. And so what we've done is developed a raised floor system, and what we're using for the raised floor to increase our efficiency of CLT is all of the scrap, all of the waste. When you cut out a door or a window, we cut that up and we make these platforms, and that allows us to run all of the MEP horizontally.
Right.
And then we've also, you'll see it on the other side, designed specifically some electrical outlets and an electrical plate cover that allow us to be really shallow and just use regular Romex rather than armored cable or specialized
It just
material.
runs right inside.
Just runs right inside, meets all of the code requirements so that we can protect that. And it's also an aesthetic finish, right? It's a special thing. And then we use wireless switches, so we don't have to run and patch.
Got it. You just have to route out and you can put a switch on the wall?
You don't have to even route out. You just place it right on the wall. And people can move it. Like, I want to switch over here. Just put a switch. You can add a switch, put a switch, whatever. Yeah. So it makes it really simple. And then in the same system, in the multifamily space, we can put elastomeric pads underneath this.
Yep.
And then we can get our acoustics.
Sure.
Without gypcrete, without putting all of those heavy
so you're
materials.
eliminate that whole process that you typically have in mass timber, where they're going to lay the gypcrete or they'll have a hydronic floor and run the wires.
Sometimes they put sand or big mass, whatever. Yeah, we don't have to do any of that. Now it's all super conventional and dry. You don't have to wait for stuff. You don't have to pump things.
Right.
And, with gypcrete over time, it cracks. Right. And then its performance starts to go down over the life of the building. This won't do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Let's bring Todd in here to actually talk about the structure and the thickness and all the technical geeky stuff that Todd Bayreuther likes to talk about. Very good.
I'll own the geek. Yeah, thank you.
You'll own the geek. I love it. All right, Todd. I mean, this has been a long time coming and a work in process. You've been in the mass timber space. You're an educator. You do so much for the industry. Walk me through what your thoughts are on this, and then I'm going to get into the seismic testing and all the other fun stuff. But give us the basics here.
Yeah, it's really been a long journey, but it's a really exciting at an inflection point here, and that energy is really demonstrated by the people at this showcase. So thank you for this, Todd Bayreuther with Mercer Mass Timber. In the mass timber industry, we're really good at doing big post and beam office and institutional buildings. This is not that. Yeah. This is a different way of thinking about how can we be relevant in housing. And it's a shift from a mentality of let's minimize the amount of material, because that's usually drives costs when we're stick framing and so forth. We love that. We're part of that. I grew up in framing and plumbing and so forth, with building buildings up, and then starting to cut through them, pulling wire and so forth. Then I went to Seattle about 20 years ago and started working in the seismic retrofit space with masonry buildings and big 100-year-old heavy timber. That's where I really learned about timber,
Right.
and realized the challenge is really how we build buildings to dissipate energy. It might be the seismic energy you're talking about, but it might be the acoustic energy in the building, the vibration energy. Sure. Then the challenge becomes, how do you think about where you put material to be the most optimized? You might put more material in certain places, for thermal to dissipate thermal energy. Then it becomes a 3D problem. So that's really why, for me, modular and mass timber go together.
Right.
If we can turn these rocket ships of these factories on to making material that these 60-foot by 12-foot panels, but then we use our digital fabrication and our computational design expertise that's really evolved over the last 10 years to start to cut these up into components that we put into a 3D box, and then start adding those boxes together all the way up between 1 and 6 stories or above. It's a really fun problem.
And you were telling me that you can ship this the way it's going to set on the building, or you can turn them sideways and ship them depending on where you're going, and maybe you need a few extra inches to get somewhere.
It's something that as we do a lot of prototyping, a lot of testing, and as we're throwing these boxes around in the factory or the lab, it just informs the design problem.
Right.
As we're tipping them on their side, working on them, we think about new ways and processes. Even last week, I had a box on its side getting ready for a test and realized maybe that's a better way to manufacture it.
Right.
So the process is as much as the design process, as much of the process as the design as the product.
So the energy efficiency of this entire system, from production, manufacturing, installation to what the consumer gets, is really optimized with a system like this, and at a price point that is competitive, if not more affordable.
It's an important part of the story. It's part of the messaging you hear from HUD this week: energy efficiency, resiliency to disaster or event, whether it's climate, seismic, flood, so forth. But that energy efficiency piece is an important driver. It's as we develop these systems, the thermal performance of these, along with the appliances, it's not just a prescriptive debate that we often have about the type of appliances. It's a holistic, bundled system that's performance-based, not just prescriptive.
Well, and that's it. And we got to think about the occupants of these buildings, right? A lot of times we develop buildings, we build buildings, get our check, right? Yeah. And nobody thinks about the longevity and the operating costs. This is lasting forever.
Durability,
That's over 3 inches on the wall, and then you got your wood fiber. But the durability of these and the longevity. And a friend of mine over in Germany, right? Or actually, I'm sorry, Switzerland, Bau Modular, he said the best building and the most sustainable building is the one you do not have to build again.
It's a key part, because it's easy to imagine that we're designing this for 50, 100, 200 years. Right? That's pretty believable. And then as we think about the modular design of this, it's also easy for us to imagine this is a 10-year system, and we are going to replace that. The way we assemble it, we can disassemble it and put the new technology in that we haven't even thought of yet.
For sure. And if you're watching this, and whether you're a business person in the industry or a consumer, this is how they're already building throughout Europe, Switzerland, Sweden. You can check some of the other videos to actually see that. But I will tell you, over there, passive house isn't the norm, it's the standard. Mm-hmm. And I think this is kind of talking about that as well. You're bringing some practices that are proven. This isn't new. Modular's new maybe with the mass timber, but on the other side of it, this is the way to go. This is the future to me.
It is, and we are following, and also part of that effort in Europe as they move to 100% performance-based codes. That's really where we're driving here also.
Yeah. Todd, thanks.
Awesome.
Love
Thank
it, man.
you.
I hope you guys have a great weekend. We're here early before the crowds come in. I'm Dave Cooper. I want to thank the Innovative Housing Showcase HUD. I want to thank the ICC. I want to thank Cobalt Creed and everybody that allows us to do what we do coming out here on the mall. I'm Dave Cooper. Come down and check all this stuff out. It's here for you to watch and see. Bye now.
What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you, and as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.